Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, they're holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing, if you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a
Hello. Hello, my friends. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are better time managers than myself. I am a poor time manager, and that is why I'm late, and also why every fucking hour between now and Christmas of mine is accounted for, with the exception of possibly one, maybe two. Actually, that's a lie. I think I have 2 hours tomorrow morning. And I have some things I want to do. I've been trying to get in touch with a friend of mine, and I really want to talk before Christmas. Poor Paisley. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. We actually really, first of all, thank you, Vicky. That's so sweet. Your favorite channel. I love that. I'll even forgive that you spelt favorite the American way. I can't even wink today. I haven't smoked a joint. This will be my first joint today. And let's get on with it. This, I'm just going to let you know, this part of it is going to be about an hour and a bit. So we have to get right into it because, like I said, all of my time is accounted for down to the minute lately. If you can believe it, Miss Carrie, we are not going to cross-examination. She is continuing her direct exam, and crazy. Just crazy. Bev, your throat's not sore? Yes! I'm proud. I woke up at 7 o'clock this morning. I walked 3 kilometers. That's like 1.5 miles, I guess. And then took a bus to the best dollar store around, got some stocking stuffers and things I needed for Christmas, and it was my last opportunity. Like, I literally don't have any other time to go. So I'm so glad that I did that. I managed to not make myself fall back asleep. I got up, I got on the couch, and I rested there for a minute, and then I got up and went. Yes, Miss Carrie, so we are returning from his bathroom break. That's exactly right. Hi, Casey Carey. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Let's get going so that I can also get going eventually. New folder, Brian Kirkham.
A
Hi,
record
Carol.
in the
You got
matter
the
of
thing working.
Olitha.
Judge! Please stop interrupting me when I'm trying to speak. My feelings feel like Miss McNiff's face here. Carol got your membership working. Yay! Also, here we go. Here we go. Oh, hi, John. How are you doing? Christmas is going to be light. Oh, light. I thought you meant like the light bill. I was like, light bills are very expensive. That's a good present. Well, I went to the dollar store, so Christmas is pretty light on our end as well. Also, not to complain, but YouTube Daddy hasn't paid yet. It's the 23rd. It's supposed to arrive within 5 days. Oh, thanks. Thanks, YouTube Daddy. That's very helpful to me at Christmas. I guess most YouTubers aren't paycheck to paycheck. Anyways, let's go.
versus a lipid A. Ms. McNiff, you can continue with your examination of your client.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Lapide, so we have the Chase credit card payment from April of 21, another from May of 21, and the final one is from June of 21.
Yes,
And in June of 21, you were at $15,820 and $43 as a balance.
yes,
And it seems like that balance kept going up over those 6 months between January of 21 and June of 21.
yes, because I was not working.
Okay. And were all of these household expenses?
Not all of them. But there was like lifeline screening. We didn't have insurance, so I did a screening for health, for my own health. Some of it's for the kids, track, gas for the car, household expenses like groceries and toiletries. There are some groceries on here.
Also, I have a question. How much does McDonald's pay in America? Because McDonald's pays pretty well around here. And I have a hard time because I work 2 jobs. I work 3 jobs, in fact, to make life work. And so it's a little odd to me that somebody's not working, that they're just piling all this on a credit card. Like, that's just asking for trouble. That's absolutely asking for trouble. Our minimum wage here is 17. Hey, Google, what's minimum wage in BC? I can't remember. $17.40 an hour. So $17.40 an hour, but that's Canadian. But still, managers at McDonald's make pretty good money. And again, all I'm saying is, all we hear is people looking for employees. They need employees. They need employees. They need employees. Now, maybe it's not a job that the best, that uses all of your schooling, but I don't know, $7.25, that's fucking low. That's crazy. But when I started working, minimum wage was $6. Oh, that's right, because we protested, and the chant was $6 sucks. $6 sucks. Which is true. Fuck you. $6? No. Okay, I need to shut up. We need to watch this.
Oakland Hospital. So I had a bill at Oakland for $109.65. That was probably office visit.
Were any of these bills in that period, those 6 months, for things like gambling or to
No.
go buy, $1,000 shoes for
No.
yourself?
No. Ola knows that I put any money that I had, I put in the house, and he told me that. He said, I know. He said, I know that what you have, you put in the house. He told me that himself. And I told him too. I think after that first incident, maybe a year afterwards.
Miss Carrie, I pay $1,500 for one room shared. $2,200 for a 3-bedroom apartment would be glorious. I would pay it happily. We had a house that we paid. It was the shittiest ass house. It was half a house, which was 3 bedrooms, but I think that was like $3,000. That was like 4 or 5 years ago too. Rent here is insane. Insane. I honestly have realized now what I should have done is saved my money, bought a house in America, rented it out, and then built up an asset. Because a minimum house here is $750,000 for a fixer-upper shithole, and who can afford that? The only reason my family was able to afford it is because my nana helped my mom, and they, but nobody's helping me. So
So where after the police, the first incident in 21, I told him, I said, Ola, I said, I don't ask much of you. I'm not one of these people that go out, have to have their nails done, hair done, and all of that. I said, I don't ask for much of anything, just love and respect. He turned around to me and he said, I know, that's why I married you. I know, that's why I married you. And you did. I never asked anything.
I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 17. And I'm asking for the admission of the police report, not for any of the narrative that's in it, but rather to show that in fact, Mr. Alapide was taken into custody by the police on a domestic violence complaint on that date, and for the purpose of admitting those credit card statements for the first 6 months of 2021. I think the court can disregard the hearsay that would be in the report.
Okay, Mr. Lapide, what's your response?
Yeah, I don't know which one for the police report or for the credit card, Your Honor.
They're
Well-
both Exhibit 617.
They're both hooked on to Exhibit 17, but you can address them separately if you wish.
All right, I will when I have the time. Your Honor, there are a lot of things to address here. I don't know how I will be able to recollect all of these things. They've been talking for like 2 hours now. I don't know how this works.
it works by getting a lawyer. Or you should have been way taking notes, dude. Like, I'm laughing when I see people that don't take notes and they're representing themselves. Like, bro. Also, would we maybe have asked this an hour ago? Like, he forgot his case.
Okay, what don't you know what works? I don't
I said
understand.
there are a lot of allegations here. I think it should be itemized. I have to be a robot to remember everything verbatim. I don't know.
Well, that's just like me. I've got a pad of paper. I'm writing all this stuff down. That's what you have to do. And
I'm trying my best.
okay, right now they're asking about proposed exhibit 17. What's your response on that?
I don't believe the credit card statement has anything to do with the 42,000. That I didn't say she doesn't have a credit card. It just doesn't. It's not part of what we agreed on. Just like the claim about joint account, we never, have that together.
Okay. Well, the court doesn't consider that a proper objection to the exhibits, but this court will not allow the introduction of the police report. They're not admissible. Court will not allow that. I have no problem with admitting the credit card statements, but I will not allow the police report.
That's fine, Your Honor. Thank you. Mrs. Alapide, was your husband taken into custody by the police in May of 21?
Yes.
And did you continue to ask for him to be prosecuted to conviction?
No, because originally I'd asked the officers if they could just go and talk to him, get him to calm down and let him know, that, because I felt he was getting out of hand with the physical abuse. And so when he was arrested, he was at the church meeting with the pastor. That's where they arrested him. And so when they sent me the paperwork and things, when they called, the prosecutor's office had called me to follow up and asked me, was I okay and everything. And then when it came close to the hearing, I just felt bad about him being the father of my kids and him going off to jail. And so I called the office and told him that, things had gotten better yet.
And this is why prosecution in Michigan doesn't rely on the victim. We've heard Debbie Davis say that before. We've heard that be said. We've heard that time and time again. So that this is prosecutorial fumbling as well. I'm sorry. I get it. Like, sometimes it is a mistake, and oh, we need to listen to the victim who says, oh, that actually didn't happen like that. But is it? Like, do we? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Don't hit people without consent. Some people like to be hit.
Hit me or anything like that, and they canceled it.
Had you been residing together that whole period
Yes.
of time after he got out of jail? He
Yes.
came back to the house.
Yes.
Had he hit you before that? I mean, I know there were,
No,
you
there
said
was
it in March. Were there any other incidents besides the March 21 incident and
Be-
the May 21
yeah.
incident?
Before the 21 incident, there was a situation where I had fell asleep downstairs. Usually after Ola goes upstairs, he usually goes to sleep to bed about 10. And I usually have a moment to just calm down and relax, just downtime. And I fell asleep in the living room, family room chair. And in the middle of the night, I got hit in the face and I was asleep. I don't know why Ola was upset. I don't know. Maybe I left the lights on or something. I don't know. But he had hit me in my face. And I was nervous. I didn't say anything to him the rest of that night. I kept my distance. The next day I went to go out and Ola followed me out in the garage and came to my window side, and I just backed away because I didn't know what to expect. And he apologized. I'm sorry.
Did he ever tell you why he hit you?
No, I don't even recall why. I just thought maybe I left the light on, or he could have just thought that I'm in cahoots with somebody, these false accusations.
Cahoots? Isn't that a restaurant? Also, John, I actually say if you're gonna smack your spouse awake, use your dick. But only if you have a good relationship with them, right? Like, if my spouse smacked me in the face with his dick, I would be happy. I like that. But not everybody does. That's a personal preference.
That he'd be thinking about.
Okay, Ms. McNiff, could we get a date on this incident?
We were in this new house when that happened. I don't know if it was between 2016, maybe. I can't remember exactly what date it was. I just know where I was and how I felt, and it's just the surprise.
How can you remember how you felt, the surprise, but not the fucking year? To within the last 8 years. Are we joking right now? This is not good testimony, McSniff. It's not. It's just not. She's up against a non-lawyer, and so this doesn't matter, but it's just terrible lawyering. It is. It's just terrible lawyering. She didn't prepare her. They sat and had a girl talk.
Not knowing I'm in my sleep and I get hit in the face.
Was that the only time that your husband woke you up out of his sleep to be abusive?
The kids, he did the more so with the kids. And I always try to make sure that, and with other people. He did that in Wisconsin. He woke up and I
Touch my fucking kid and watch what would happen. I'm being serious. Smack my kid awake from sleep because of your bad mood? Yeah, the police would be being called. And a fucking coroner.
hear him on the phone yelling, and I think he was talking to the people here at Albion College. I know what's going on, and I think he accused one of them some member talking to one of his colleagues. I don't know if it was Dr. Leff, that he accused him of talking to in Kent State or at University of Wisconsin. And I just remember having IO on my hip coming out the bedroom to find out what was going on. But he would have these accusations and just accuse people of doing things.
Did you ever seek counseling for any of this?
No, I did offer, like I said, I asked Ola, I said, can we go to counseling? And even one time when I was in the guest bedroom sleeping, and one morning he came in, he said, maybe we need to go to counseling, but that never happened. It just got my hopes up high. And that never happened because then I was told I was to blame.
Did anything major change in your marriage in 2022?
2022.
He's a
Did it-
2022,
Did at some point,
Albion.
did at some point you move out of
Yeah.
the bedroom?
Yes. So Lydie was doing her first semester senior year project, so she didn't get to work as much on her job in Fort Wayne. And she had asked to borrow some money from her dad to help with her car note. She came home for winter break. She got her job immediately at Papa John, or not Papa John's, pizza place, Hungry Howie's.
And let's do the
delivery.
best you can to
Okay. Well, anyway, he
give the
kicked
facts.
the lady out the house. It was one of the coldest days ever. He kicked her out the house. I was in
And
Jackson.
how old was Lydie again?
Oh, 22, 21, maybe that year, 21 and a half, 22.
Okay.
But that was in December. He kicked her out the house. I get this frantic call. I was in Jackson saying, Mom.
And let's not say what she said.
Okay.
So he kicked her out of the house.
Well, yeah. And then he threatened Io.
Did he let her back in?
No, he didn't. He wanted her to come back and apologize. And he told me that I should have been the one to go talk to her and bring her back home and have her apologize. So I was a problem. I was supposed to be the problem solver after all of this stuff. And I wasn't even a part of it.
So where did Lydie go?
She ended up going to, her friend was still at her dorm at Albion, like a apartment, but she was only going to be there a short time because she had to be out. And then she ended up going to her boyfriend's house in Ohio. She traveled all the way to Ohio and stayed with the parents, people I didn't even know.
And so that caused you to move out of the bedroom?
Yeah, he was threatening to kick Io out of the house. He had already started mistreating Io, and I just saw the pattern. You know, he had already, you know, he had made Io, he had to walk to work in the wintertime with dress shoes on. He had worked at the bank and McDonald's. He had 2 jobs and he was going to school. His school suffered behind it. But anyway, I just saw that the pattern, how Ola was treating me was being passed on to my kids. My kids were leaving, not being able to have Christmas and stuff together. And so I just saw the pattern and I just said, I moved out. Io was threatening to move out because Ola was already threatening, I can kick you out too. And he was accusing him of things, but I'll let Io talk about that.
Was there ever a time that your husband woke up one of the children and hit one of the children?
Yeah, he would do that, hit them in the head, you know. Yeah, wake them up and accuse them of things, you know, and then they'd be, you know, we go through punishments, things of punishments. And so they would have to endure that as well.
What kinds of punishments would he give them?
Well, like Io had to move downstairs in the basement. He collects all of their stuff and put it in his drawer. That time in 2022, I think he took Io's computer. He needed the computer.
Ms. Carey, what did her husband do? I can't remember. The hair player. They all run together. Also, what will we watch this week? I don't know. I have 3 days off coming up. maybe we should rewatch some of the Casey Anthony case. I've been meaning to pull that out of the fucking. Yeah, he was a tech guy, was he? It wasn't the chef guy, right? The personal chef. Remember that one? He was like a personal chef to the family, to a family or something. Michael was his name. There's a lot of Michaels. I got a lot of Michaels in my life. Actually, quick story we'll tell very quickly. And then we'll continue and I'll shut up. When I first got divorced and I was prowling the town being a little slut. Sally! Anyways, when I was prowling around, I met a guy named Mike on somewhere. And we went on a date. It didn't go well. Nothing really happened. Nothing. And, oh, I remember living in his parents' house. I remember now. They were evicting her. She was all over the place. He gave her $25,000. Oh, Lord. Yeah, DM me. Anyways, I met this other guy named Mike as well. And I really wanted to see him, but, you know, he never called. And then one night I'm sitting there and I get a text from Mike. And it's like a you up sort of text. But I'm like, bro, not a fucking chance. Like, I shut it down hard. Because I thought it had been shut down. And the way that he approached me, I was just like, did he not get this message? Like, here's the message. And so I shut him down hard. I was like, it's an absolute no, bro. Like, it's not happening. You know, like, maybe you should lose my number. And the next morning I woke up and I looked at my phone a little closer and I realized that it was not, in fact, the lame Mike that had texted me like I thought, but the Mike that I wanted to text me. And I had shut him down like fucking dirt. And I tried to backtrack, and I indeed did end up backtracking and ended up going on a date with the right Mike. We laughed about it afterwards. But after that, I began to attribute emojis to everybody in my phone. So, every Mike gets their own emoji along with their phone number. Erica, Merry Christmas to you too. We will continue with our story now. Or our show. This show. But, yes. Also, when you're listing out people that you've slept with and counting, you guys, I want you to realize if the name is the same, that only counts as one.
The iPad for a class because all the lab stuff was downloaded on it. But he took that, told him he had to drive all the way from Albion to KCC to go to the lab and do the lab work. But he took his bank cards and all of that stuff, the keys to the car. Then he would just wake them up out of their sleep and they accused them of stuff. And we have good kids. We have real good kids.
Did your husband go on any trips in 2023?
Yeah, 2023, he went to Kenya for research in May. I think early part of that year he went to Nigeria, but he didn't even visit his father.
So was the Nigeria trip a research trip for work, or was that
the Nigeria is vacation? His father's up in age. I encourage him to go back and see him, but then I was hurt to find out that Ola said he didn't even visit him. He was an hour and a half away. Now he did visit him for his 85th birthday. That was this early part of this year.
Oh, you can't go to fucking Africa and be an hour and a half from your parent and not visit them. Can you? That's like if any of you ever come to Vancouver Island and you don't message me and say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're that close. You're like that close.
He did visit him then because it was his birthday celebration, 85 years, but to be an hour and a half away, and he didn't even go and see him.
So how often would your husband travel
Or at
for
least
work?
for work, well, at least once a year. He at least once a year, maybe twice, because I think he went to Saudi Arabia for research. I mean, he's traveled. He's done.
And does the school pay for the research trips?
Yes, for the research, he
And-
gets grants and monies
And
they
how
pay.
often does he go overseas for vacations?
Well, he lately in the past few years, he's been going on vacation trips on his own. So maybe two times a year.
And what kinds of places would he go?
He's been to, I think it's Cancun. He's been to Las Vegas. He's been to Colombia. He's been on, to the point I lost track because it's, he'd make these plans and he always tell me the plans afterwards. So I've always had to make sure I had PTO time to cover for the kids. Like the situation with, 1 year he traveled. I think that was for research. I was working at College and Career Access Center. We take the kids on college visits. I couldn't ride the bus with the kids to these 3 colleges, juniors. They were juniors in high school. And my supervisor I said, Nancy, I can't take the kids. I can't be on the bus with them. I'm gonna have to drive behind them. And she said, why? I said, because I had to send Akeem to school sick. He was really sick today. And if school calls me, I have to leave work and go. And she says, well, where's Ola? And I told him, I said, he's on research. He's traveled. So I have to take care of it.
So did your husband ever take you on any trips?
Yeah, he did. Usually we go as a family. The only trip that we've been together just by ourselves is 1 year in our marriage. We went to Puerto Rico. And he did make arrangements with my mom to watch the kids.
And
That was for, I think, our anniversary.
In the last 5 years, have you gone on any trips with him?
I don't think the last 5 years.
And that's when his solo trips have been increasing?
Yes, they have been. And so in 2023, he went to Kenya in May. He brought back COVID, gave me COVID.
In 2023?
Yeah, 2023. I got COVID. It was Memorial Day weekend when he came back. And I got sick. I got really sick. I had already had bad reactions to the boosters and stuff where CDC was following me. And I had to report to CDC. And so I got it. He told me, I said, Ola, you gave me COVID and I had to be off of work without pay. And he said, so what? Go tell the police I gave you COVID.
And is this when you were working for Excel?
With Mackey and Excel, yeah. And so I had to be off because they had stipulations and requirements, how long I had to be off. And it was without pay. And then that was right before my diagnosis. When I went back to work is when
So you had no paid sick leave?
No paid sick leave. I didn't have no paid sick leave.
So how long were you off for COVID?
It was, I think I had to, after being sick, so it was a good 2 weeks.
And that was Memorial Day, so like late May, early June of 23?
Yes, it was because June 12th I went back. I caught COVID in May. When I went back to work, my first week back is when I experienced the clotting and bleeding episode and an emergency. And then I was diagnosed on the 12th with cancer.
Of July or June?
Of June.
June.
So in between that time of end of May, it was around Memorial Day weekend that I got COVID when the Ola came back.
And what was your husband's reaction when you told him that you'd been diagnosed with cancer?
He didn't seem too concerned. He didn't seem too concerned at all. When, they had to set up the appointment for my consultation. And so I remember coming downstairs and he said, when is your surgery? Because I'm traveling. And I said, that's all right, Ola. I said, you don't have to come. I said, I have to go to a consultation first with the cancer doctor. I said, but that's all right. You don't have to come. I don't want you to come because he had already told me he was traveling. So it didn't matter. That's his attitude about my situation.
Did he ever offer to cancel his travel plan?
No, when he said that, I said, that's okay. I let him know. Inside it did hurt, but I let him know that it was okay. He didn't have to come. I'm having my mom come with me.
And after you had your surgery, then he returned?
Yeah.
Did he help?
I worked until, like I said, a few days before I had to prep for surgery, get my body ready. And he had traveled, and all of a sudden I get this picture. I was out my lunch break from a family member who knew I had surgery coming up. And it has this picture of him with his arms around this woman in the Kenya airport area. And it's like, what's going on? I mean, the picture he looked really cozy with this woman, and they knew I had surgery coming up. And I said, that's okay. And so I went into surgery, and he had told mom that he was going to be back for my surgery, but I was already at home when he got back.
Did you ask him who the woman was?
No, I never. He didn't even know I even seen it to this day until I gave you the picture.
And after he got back, did he help you get to your radiation appointment?
No.
Did he pick up any extra housework, any
No.
extra cooking?
No. He cooked his meals, for the soups and stuff, because I never cooked the soups. It's too much oil. Too many things I don't know about that. There's Nigerian dishes that I do cook, but he usually cooks the soups and stuff and store them up and use those. But far as, it was my church family, my women's group, that they alternated days to bring meals. They even have cards with funds and things that I helped out, but get me back and forth to my appointments and stuff. And they helped out, stopped by, but they had a schedule.
Did you feel any kind of support at all from your husband throughout that ordeal?
No. And I felt that's when I realized, I said, if I got to go through something serious like this by myself. I was already feeling depressed, not being able to see my son, not being able to talk to him. And my daughter moved out permanently. I was already depressed before I even found out what COVID or cancer. I was going to work, coming home. I didn't even want to come home. That's how depressed I was.
Did you?
And I still had, we still had, I can't.
Did you get any counseling either from your pastor? Or?
But I talked to the pastor and I we prayed a lot. And I had, sisters in the church that pray with me. But, I knew I was spiraling into depression. And I just felt like I have to make a change and move on.
Did you have any more incidents of domestic abuse in 2023?
Yes, it escalated into December.
And what happened in December of 2023?
So on December 2023, I was coming home from somewhere in the garage on the phone because my mom had passed out in the parking lot. And so she was at the hospital. So I was on the phone with family members, and my brother told me, okay, I'm on my way to go talk to the doctor. So I was already stressed.
Excuse me 1 second, if I could, Ms. McNiff. I've heard a lot of other extraneous testimony. Please focus on this particular case, because I don't need to hear about other family members or issues that they had unless it's directly related to this.
I understand, Your Honor.
Otherwise, we'll be here 2 or 3 days if we keep going on.
I agree. So
okay, sorry, sir.
Let's just talk about what happened with domestic violence.
Yes. Okay. Lydie came home for Christmas and she was leaving that day. I went upstairs and got some things that she needed to take with her. Io did not come home. Ola was upset because Io did not come home for Christmas, had not talked to him. So we were helping her carry her stuff to the door. Ola turns around to me and asks and says, Charlena, where is my son? I said, I don't know. I don't know where Io is. I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I don't know. And he said, what kind of mother are you? You don't know where your son is. And he started blaming me again. And I was already stressed with mom's situation. And he didn't know. And I said, Ola, I have no idea. Why would you blame me for it? I'm not to blame that Io's not here. I didn't cause this. And he wanted to blame me for it. So Lydie was taking her. He told Lydie, he said, you need to leave, Io, or Lydie, you need to leave. So she felt like she was being kicked out again. So she was heading to the door first. Aking was Aking was behind him. And Ola came in behind Aking, and I was standing by the buffet, and he backslapped me.
Okay. And that was one of the photos that
Yes.
that we had in Exhibit 18.
Yes, but he was kicking them out because he was ready to unleash his anger on me.
And did you call the police?
Yes, I did. I told him I was calling the police.
And was he taken into custody?
Yes, he did. He was.
And did he plead guilty?
Yes, he did.
And was there a no contact order?
Yes, there was.
Did he have to move out of your home?
He had to stay away until we went to court and have a peaceable agreement. He didn't like that, but he had to.
Okay.
And he was traveling to Nigeria to see his dad. I think that was, I don't know, 23, 20. No, yeah, he had to travel to see his dad. He had already had those arrangements and they agreed to let him go and travel.
And were you working in December of 23?
Yes, I was at Mackey.
Okay. And so were you you had finances to live on at that point?
Yes.
And at some point during that period of time, did you find that your husband was transferring funds from a bank account to Nigeria?
Yes.
How did you find that out?
He did tell me. He said he was transferred. But see, when he got arrested, after he got arrested, when he got released, he came back with the police officers and said, I need to grab my checkbook. It's something about putting money into the I guess for the CD. But he had already talked to a lawyer, and he did tell me that after when we went into the peace agreement, that he had asked for his retainer fee back. Because I think he did that because he had lost he thought he was going to lose the house or something. I had to put a lock on the door.
So let's go back to so how long did you live alone in the house before he came back?
December 23rd, our case was January 16th, and then he had to wait till that went through. The prosecutor had told him that you have to wait until all that paperwork go through, and then he can come back with peaceable agreement.
Okay. And did he stay peaceable?
I kept my distance. I was on call, so even though I went back to work, I was one of the people that got called back in January to work a week. And then I was on call. So I had to text and call in every day.
So
yes,
like Judge said, we don't want to be your day. So I want you to really kind of concentrate on the question I'm asking and try to just answer the question.
Yes.
Did he stay peaceable?
No.
Did he put his hands on you again?
No, he didn't.
How was he not peaceable?
He would pick and say things. Like one day I didn't get called into work. So Ola was at the house and I stayed up in the room until Akin came home. When Akin came home, I came down, greeted him, helped to take care of him to get food and stuff. Ola says, "Oh, good morning." And then it was the evening time, about 2:30, 3 o'clock. And then he said, "Oh no, it's afternoon." And then when I responded, he didn't like the response and he started to get angry. And I said, "Ola, we are a peaceable agreement. Let's keep it that way." I took care of what I needed to take care of. And I went right back up to the guest room and just closed the door. So he could testify that I pretty much stayed in the bedroom if I wasn't at work. Like I said, I got to the point I didn't want to come home.
Okay. And so you said that he admitted that he was sending funds to Nigeria?
Yeah, he told me that he was sending funds, but he was sending it, I guess, aggressively. But he made comments. Even though he told me he knew what he was doing, he was trying to get it. He learned about what the divorce required. It wasn't what he expected, what would happen in a divorce, and he was trying to take it out from under
Okay,
me.
hold on a second. Again, you're not answering the question, ma'am. Just answer the question that she asked.
So do you know how much money he was transferring to Nigeria?
I didn't know how much he was transferring until I went to the bank on the 7th.
And how did you find out how much money he was transferring?
I just went up to the bank and asked for a statement. I didn't have to lift nothing off no check. My name is on the account.
Okay. And how much did you see he was transferring to Nigeria?
100 here. I mean, aggressively. Whenever he could, once or twice a week, he would send money over there. It's on the statement.
And what were the amounts of the money that he was sending?
Like $100 at a time. I don't know if it went up to 150, but at least minimum of 100 at a time. I don't know if it was a limitation of how much he could submit. And he said that in the June hearing, that he had told me that he was sending money over there to Nigeria.
Okay.
He had an account in Nigeria. And he said this before to me in a different time. He said that he can go over to Nigeria and live comfortably. That's what he said.
And you have
He
no
told me that, and I can't remember exactly when, but it was after that first 2021 incident,
But he's never told you how much money he has in Nigeria.
no. I think it just opened up when he got back after he was arrested, because 2 weeks prior to him going to Colombia, I had asked him, I said, Ola, how come you didn't go through with the divorce? And he just looks at me and said, things between you and I will never be the same because you put me in jail twice. And I said, I no longer want to be married.
And when did you move out of the marital home?
The 11th, March 11th.
Okay, and I'm turning to Exhibit 5. Oops. Do you recognize Exhibit 5?
Yes, that's a lease agreement.
Okay, and if you look on page 2, paragraph 10, does it say how much money you're paying per month?
$1,000 per month.
Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
And did you have to pay a security deposit in the first month's rent?
Yes, the first month and the last month rent and a security deposit.
And where did you get that money?
Safe Place helped me.
Okay, and you're still paying the $1,000?
Yes.
I would move admission of Exhibit 5.
Okay, Mr. Olapide, any response?
No problem, Your Honor.
Okay. Plaintiff's Exhibit 5 will be admitted.
And now I'm looking at Exhibit 4, and is this a budget that we prepared together?
You gave me the format. I put the information in there.
Okay. And let's go through it. Your mortgage or your rent is $1,000.
Yes.
You've got house maintenance of 25.
That was in the lease agreement. They had asked that you had to keep the lawn care. At that time, I didn't have a lawnmower. Now I have a lawnmower, but you still buy the gas and the oil and stuff for it. But
okay. And who has the lawnmower?
This is one I purchased, but the one for the house, Ola has the big lawnmower.
Okay, he kept that.
Yes.
And then you have electric?
Yes.
And is that running 75 a month as it says on your budget?
It runs about 100. That was a guesstimate. That was because I was only there for a few weeks when I put this together.
Okay, and it has water and sewer at 57.
It's about 57 a month.
That's accurate?
Yes.
And then gas, that's gas for the
budget
house.
on the budget plan.
Okay, so that's $75 for gas for your house.
The gas for the house, I think they may have decreased it down to $66, $67.
Okay.
But it started out at 75.
And you don't have any cable or satellite service?
No cable, no.
Garbage service, you have $18.45
a month, yes.
Okay. Do you have renter's insurance?
Not yet, no.
Okay. So that we can cross out, but
we need it because the landlord has suggested that we get it. We have an old tree in the front of the house.
Okay. Your a vehicle payment now. Currently, what are you driving?
2006 Honda Odyssey.
Tell me about that Honda Odyssey.
It's needing a repair starter. I just put in a new starter for it.
In the last year, how many repairs have you had?
Oh, probably about 3 or 4.
And what have they cost you?
Well, one of them was over 1,000. The other one, a couple of thousands. And the starter was about a couple of $100 because I had somebody that knew how to do it.
So buy a new car.
Are you in need of a new vehicle?
Yes, I am.
Or
Yes.
a newer vehicle?
Yes.
Okay, so you have no vehicle payment now, but if you were to get a vehicle, would you have to finance it?
Yes.
And would $400 a month be a reasonable amount to pay for a vehicle payment?
Yeah, I think so.
Right now we have no vehicle repairs. And that would be if you had a new vehicle?
If I have a new vehicle, yeah,
Or
you'd have the
newer vehicle.
maintenance. Yes.
Okay. Right now you do have vehicle repairs?
Yes, I just put a new starter in there in the car.
And then gasoline right now is running about $2.65 a month.
Yeah, for gas, that'd be it's a 17-gallon tank, so that's how much it takes to run it.
And where are you driving?
Well, right now it's to Akeen's events and things that he have. And that he's getting ready to do segment 2 driving classes, his sports events, and then my to church and applications if I need to a library. I've gone to the library, Michigan Works, they'll help with updating my resume.
Have you had any job interviews?
And no interviews. I've been declined. I received some declines, but the next position is, like I said, maybe to get my foot in the door into the school system is do the sub, and I've contacted EduStaff.
If you sub, do you have to drive?
Yes, I would have to drive, and then I'm gonna pay for the sub license and the background check.
And you have vehicle maintenance at $50 a month?
That vehicle maintenance.
Would that be like oil changes, tires,
Yes,
things like that?
that's if I get, yeah.
Okay. Medical insurance premiums. Right now, do you have medical insurance?
No, I don't. I just have what Ola has is the ASR, and he had changed that plan, and he had threatened to take the insurance away last year when I had cancer.
So you have
He's done it
some
twice.
insurance through your husband?
The ASR, which is a high deductible, 4,000. Instead of taking it away, he changed the plan.
So you've got a $4,000 deductible?
$4,000 deductible.
And you understand that when the divorce is final, you won't have any
Yes.
insurance?
Yes.
So is this an estimate of what insurance would cost you?
It's just estimate.
Okay. Uninsured medical expenses, you
What
have.
is that amount, Ms. McNiff? You didn't say.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, 600.
And with the conditions,
Okay, and then you've got uninsured medical expenses, which include dental, orthodontic, vision, copays, and prescriptions at $333 per month.
dental. Yeah, I just try to break it down in a month because I know it's going to cost more than that for whatever work that needs to be done without insurance. If anything, I just broke it down in a month.
Are you currently paying for medications?
Yes, I'm paying for medication. I was supposed to have the card with the ASR, but I don't use that. Ola has a card, so I just pay out of pocket.
Life insurance premiums, you don't have any life insurance, is that accurate?
That's accurate. Other than what the bank, Blue Ox have that little basic $1,000, I think, but that's it.
Then you've got total monthly minimum payments for your credit card accounts as $1,600.
Yeah, that was at the time, what I was paying. So I've talked to a debt creditor, so to meet with her about getting that settled, making payments and building my credit back up to where it was.
And you've got 3 credit cards, is that right?
That was 3 at the time. They're one's open, all the other 2 are closed out.
Okay, are you still paying on them?
No, they've gone into
collection?
not collections yet. It's another stage. That's why I'm working with a debt management place. So it hasn't gone into collections yet.
Have you,
Or maybe it's I don't know. I don't know. I just working with her. She works with the
Is it
Chase.
Green Path?
No, it's just what is it? I wrote the name down somewhere.
No, that's okay. So
Crystal is her name that I work it with.
when we did the property chart, you owed just under 5,000 on the Blue Ox credit Visa. Was that
Yeah,
accurate?
that's accurate. Yeah.
And you owed about 23,510 on the Slate Visa.
Yeah.
And then you had a Citibank MasterCard that was about 15,000.
Yes.
Were your minimum payments on your budget based on those amounts?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, but you're saying you don't have those right now.
No, but the amount that far as combining them, consolidating, and then making the monthly payments.
Okay. Have those debts gone away at this point?
No, they're not. They haven't gone away.
Okay. And then you've got groceries at 200, or I'm sorry, groceries at 600 a month.
Yes, that's because my son stays with me, and Akin when he comes, so it's expensive. I budget that based on how much I would be spending at the when we were all together at the other house.
Okay. And
that's
then
usually what it averaged out.
And then clothing, you've got $25 a month.
Yeah, because I don't go shopping like that. For Akin, I need to increase that because Akin, I do buy his clothes. I just bought some pants and he's a growing boy, a young man, and Ola hasn't brought him anything. I've been buying it.
Okay, even though you've got joint custody.
Except for his shoe. He brought a pair of shoes last summer at the outlet place. He paid for that, but this year Ola has not brought his clothes.
Okay. And then dining out, you have nothing. You have no expense for going out and having dinners out.
I have not included that near, and because I haven't been going out. So at the time I wasn't going out.
Okay. Entertainment, you've got $50 a month. Is that accurate?
Yeah, and that's usually with the kids.
Okay.
Like with the, taking Akin somewhere.
And then you've got children's extracurricular activities. So that'd be Akin.
Yes.
150 a month. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it's different activities, going to his games and his events. He might need some supplies. He did decide not to go to basketball this year. He usually plays basketball with football, and then he goes to track and AAU. I pay for his uniform, his registration fees, and his AAU during the summer. Those are fees that I come up with, and then also help him with the fundraising and all of that.
Okay, and then you have no magazine subscription.
No.
You have gifts at $75 a month.
Yeah. And that could be gifts for the kids or my mother.
Okay. Church and charitable donations, you've got 200. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that was based on the salary at the time of my tithes.
Okay. Are you still able to do that?
No.
Okay. And you don't have any loan payments, just the credit cards.
Just the credit card.
No pets.
No.
And then internet service you have at $55 a month.
Yes.
Okay. And then you've got legal fees.
Yes, I do.
And
so it's about 8,000 now.
Okay. And have you been able to make those payments?
No.
Okay. And do you make any payments into retirement accounts or investment accounts?
No.
You don't have any accountant services?
No, not the only time we pay that accountant is during the tax seasons. Okay. And so Ola paid that while I did all the prep and paperwork.
And then do you still have a storage unit?
Yes.
And that's $88 a month?
Yes.
And so your total that we came up with was 6,591. Is that correct? But some of those things have changed.
Yes.
Like the credit cards was a big one.
It was a big one.
Because you're not paying that right now. And you're not paying the homeowners or the renters.
Yeah, I need to get that though.
Okay.
The renters insurance.
And with your income being the $1,000 that your husband gives you and the child support, you're way under what your budget is.
Yes, I'm making it by people help, family members, birthday. I just had a birthday, so some family members had sent me some birthday funds. I have some of my things that I've sold on eBay or Facebook. And with the 3.5 hours in the church. Um, and and then I don't plan to live like this.
Have you applied for any government help?
No, no,
Not Medicaid or not food assistance?
no.
I'd move admission of Exhibit 4.
Okay. Mr. Lapide, any response?
No objection, Your Honor.
Okay, Exhibit 4 will be admitted. There being no objection.
Okay, and then I want to go through the property chart with you for a bit. Did we have your house at 702 Huntington Boulevard in Albion appraised?
Yes,
And did it appraise at 226,000?
yes,
And did you agree that the mortgage balance in March of 24 of this year was $84,483?
yeah, that was about right.
Okay.
84,000.
So you had equity of about 141,517.
Yes,
And at the time, we valued your 2006 Honda Odyssey at $800.
yeah, it was about 800.
Do you think that that's still accurate?
No,
What do you think you could sell it for now?
a couple of $100
Okay.
in the condition it's in.
And your husband has a 24 Hyundai Elantra,
Yes, we had that for our son,
and that's for a Keen.
for our king.
And you agreed that your husband could keep that for a Keen's use?
Yes,
And that car, we valued at about $5,971.
yes,
And then your husband has a 2020 Range Rover Velar.
yes,
And was it your understanding that he bought that for about $65,000?
that's my understanding. He brought that after, I think about the same week after I left.
And did he trade in a Mercedes Benz
Yes,
for
he
that?
did. Yes, he did.
And there was an indication from him that he owes about $55,000 on that car. Is that correct?
That's what I think mediation, that's what he shared.
Okay. And so the value, the equity in that car is about 10,000.
Yeah, based on the information he provided.
And there was a Homestead Savings Bank checking account that ended in 3157 that had $3,125 in it in March of 24.
At the end, after the division.
Is that correct? Now let's talk about that division because your husband's had issues with that.
Yes,
You took some money out of the Homestead Bank, correct?
yes.
How did you determine, first of all, how much money did you take out?
Oh. So where's my spreadsheet?
Do you need your spreadsheet to
Yeah,
review
because
it?
I broke it down and then I found out.
Oh, if I could get 10 pounds of hamburger for 28 bucks, Miss Carrie, oh, the things I would do. Knowing a butcher is a very good thing. I actually just went to the butcher shop for some special Christmas butchery items. Back for more torture. Yes, Jackie, I'm torturing myself. I have to go to the potty, and you guys will continue listening to this while I do.
That the teller was off, misread one of the numbers, and it's like $6 difference. But I just divided in half. I took out the amount that Ola owed Alaide for her Jeep. I made those arrangements. Ola told,
And he owed your daughter because she had totaled her car?
yes, she had totaled her Jeep. Ola had co-signed for it, but she was making the payments. And so there was totaled. It was a 4-car pileup. She was the second vehicle. And so Ola had told her that the check came to him in his name, and that wasn't the truth. And I was able to take a picture of that check because that's what he was telling her, that it came in his name to him. So he signed that check without Olaide's signature and cashed that check and put it into the Homestead savings account.
And
So I took what the balance was in there.
Is it, hold on. The check was either written to and or. I used to work at a bank. It's very simple. But bank machines sometimes miss those things. You can sort of subvert that. But basically, the check is either written to somebody and in that case, you need both signatures or both people on the account. And if it's then it's one or the other person can cash a check. MB, you're at the store now. I'm about to go to the store in a bit. Which is why I need to stop and just hit play.
And subtracted that and asked for a cashier's check so that Elida would not, so that Ola won't keep her money. That's the reason why I did that.
So did you try to take half of the money, not
Yeah.
counting the money for your daughter and?
Yeah, I subtracted Elida's amount off the what was in the account, subtracted her amount, and then from there split it in half, and then also took out the amount that he had transferred right after he got out of jail that he put into the CD, which my name is not on.
So you took
So
half of the
that-
amount for the CD?
No, not the half of the amount of the CD, because I don't know what's in this CD. I don't know the total amount. It's just the amount that he took out once he got out of jail in December. He took out half. I took the half amount of that. You have that spreadsheet because there's a breakdown.
I can, but I think you explained it well.
Okay.
So there was a CD at Homestead Savings.
Yeah, there's a CD. There's still a CD. There's a CD. I don't know how much was in there, but out of the checking account.
MB, I don't know if it's too late now, but I've learned that Whole Foods does a really good Christmas dinner through their catering department, and it's actually very affordable, and it's really delicious. A lot of people are doing that, I've heard this year. So I wish you good luck. You're buying it all. You don't cook. I love it. I've been baking up a storm. I wish I could share my cookies with you guys. I can only share my tatas.
We could see in that bank statement how much he had took out and put in took out his checking account and put it into the CD.
Okay.
So only asked for half of that back. And then the half that was in the check after Elida's amount was taken out.
And is it your belief that the Homestead Savings account then was split 50-50?
Yes.
And then were there accounts at Blue Ox?
Blue Ox, yes.
And those accounts were small amounts?
Yes, very small amounts.
Did you have about $35 in a checking account
Yes.
and about $5 in a second checking account?
Yes.
And then you had another small youth savings account for about $5?
Yeah, I think that they had separated Akin's account. He has two separate youth accounts when they changed over from United Education and Blue Ox.
And so when all of it was said and done, did you have about $7,448 in a that you put into a Huntington account?
Well, some of it was cashed out for me. Some of it, I stayed in a transitional home. When they found out that I was gonna go into shelter, some members at the church had a house that they were renovating, and it was livable, but it wasn't finished. And I stayed at that transition house until the house was available. The house was not something I pre-planned. It came about because I was trying to find people to give me reference to move into the subsidized or at least apply for the subsidized housing. It was still a waiting list for that too. And Ola told me, he said, if you move out, if you ever move out, you'll have to live in a subsidized housing like our tenant.
So then was there also a life insurance policy that was worth about $1,000?
Yes, the Blue Ox, and they give me that for being an account member.
But no, with Minnesota Life Insurance?
I think that's through the company. Is it Blue Ox that uses that, I think?
Okay. But is that a term life policy? It doesn't have a cash value?
I don't know if it has a cash value. I just know that we could submit that if in case of a death. You can always you can always purchase more, but a basic is just $1,000.
Okay. And were there investments with Stock Alphabet Inc. of about $200?
On Ola's, I had given him money on, he had Cash App at the time. At the time, I didn't have Cash App. So he had Cash App and I told him about Alphabet, was learning about the trade and asked him to put money on it. And he did, and then he added to it.
Okay. So if we gave you the Honda Odyssey at $200 and the money that you had at Huntington Bank that was about, or in cash, was about $7,448, then you had about $7,648.
Mm.
Is that
Yeah.
sound right? And then you had around $35,000 in debt?
Yes.
Okay. And your husband was given the 141,517
Yes.
in
House.
in the equity in the house, plus the two vehicles that was close to 16,000.
Yes.
And
Well,
that
the closest, the two vehicles.
5,971 for the Elantra and 10,000 for the Range Rover.
I guess, yeah, based on what Ola said about the Range Rover, because I don't know what that arrangement was.
Okay.
Because that was purchased that, like I said, I think the end of the week of when I moved out.
And then we believed that he had about
I don't know how much
20,000 in the bank.
at the time before all of this.
Correct.
I think it was 17, 18,000.
Okay.
But that didn't include, there was another account, and I don't know if that was the CD or if it's a savings of about 7,000 in that.
Okay. And at one point you agreed to accept $100,000, not including the debts that you have,
Yes.
correct?
Not including the accounts anywhere else, the CDs, the savings. This was just a checking account that
And then your husband has a defined contribution plan through Albion College, correct? A retirement
Yes.
plan. And that at the time in December of 2023 was worth about 330,811.
That's what based on taxes that was submitted, because we have to submit that paperwork, and I prepare the stuff for the taxes to
And-
take to the accountant.
And you were agreeable to divide that as of the date of filing the complaint for divorce?
Yes.
Okay. And have you seen your husband's W-2 from 2023?
Yes, it was part of the taxes, yes.
And do you need to review that in order to determine what?
The wages was $79,592.85.
And then you had your W-2 as well from 2023, correct?
Yes, from Excel. I
And
think it's,
you earned, if you need to look at that
I think
too,
it was 28,000 or something. Yeah, $28,650.36.
have you made anywhere near that this year?
No.
And have you searched diligently for work?
Yes, I applied for a couple positions even through Albion Public Schools. I hadn't heard back from those at all. 2 positions there. Jackson Intermediate Assistant instructor for students who are going back, high school students studying early childhood. I got a rejection letter for that.
Do you stay in touch with Excel?
Yes, Excel, I've applied for accountant assistant position that was in Albion because it was located in Albion.
How many jobs have you applied for in 2024, do you think?
Probably about including 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 or 7 that has good income, benefits, and allow me to be able to still.
You applied for 7 jobs in a year and you didn't get it? Tammy, hi. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so aggressive when I said your name. Hi, Tammy. Hope you're doing well. I'm sorry. I'm peeved. I'm peeved.
work at AM so I can be with Akin in the PM and also take care of his school events. Like yesterday was the parade. Next week is the band performance. And Ola doesn't do
He's
those things. He
16.
said it doesn't do nothing for him.
Okay. In terms of your household furnishings, did you take any things of value, like appliances,
No.
yard equipment, things like that?
No, the snow blower, the lawnmower, the refrigerator, stove, microwave, all of those, the washer and dryer, all of those stayed at the house. The living room set and buffet dining room set that stayed.
Who do you think got more value in terms of household items and personal property?
Ola.
I'm looking at now at exhibits 1 through 3. Can you identify exhibit 1 for me?
It's 1040 individual income tax for 2021.
And did you file jointly in
Yes,
2021?
yes, we did. We've been filing jointly since we moved here, and all of our accounts here.
Is that an accurate representation of what your tax return was for 2021?
Yes.
I'd move admission of exhibit 1.
Okay, Mr. Lepide, anything else?
No problem.
Okay,
No problem.
then exhibit 1 will be admitted, there being no objection.
And now I'm looking at exhibit 2. Can you identify that for me?
Yes, it's 2022 1040 income tax return, and it states on there we filed jointly, and it identifies the account.
Okay. And is that accurate?
Yes.
And the income for 2021, the total income was for both of you was 104,859. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
And then it was a little higher than that in 2022.
105,076. No.
And then exhibit 3, do you recognize exhibit 3?
1040 2023. And this income also includes like the house though that we owed. No, I think the 2023 also included that.
Okay.
So all of the we rented out the house, our first house in 2006 was the first year. All the way up until I think it was December 2022.
Well, I move admission of exhibit 3.
You didn't do 2 yet. Did you want to do 2 and 3?
Yeah, let's do 2 and 3.
Okay, Mr. Lepide, any response?
No objection.
Okay, then exhibit 2 and 3 are admitted.
Now, at some point, did you withdraw money from your retirement?
Yes, I had I think it was about $4,000 in August. And so I was off sick, like I said, with COVID, and then with the surgery, no sick pay. And that's what I took out to help pay the credit card bills, the Simco, the groceries, the things that we needed, that I took care of. I didn't ask Ola for anything. And that's what I used as income.
You say August, but she didn't give any year.
Of 2023, I apologize. That was the year that I had the surgery. That's when I took out what we had and what we had reported to our accountant. And I think that was part of the W-2s.
And did that include any of the cancer treatments?
Yeah, anything that I needed, medical appointments, anything that co-pays, anything that I needed for regards to my surgery, radiation, the gas to get back and forth, and then the expenses that I had because I didn't ask Ola for anything.
And did you take that out before you filed for divorce?
I had to take that out last year, and that was even before before the December incident. That was during last summer.
Can you think of any possible job situation where you could earn 79,000 like your husband does?
No.
And the jobs that you're currently looking for, what is the current pay range?
Lady. I'm sorry, I have to stop it there. You have to believe in yourself. Have a fucking goal. Do you remember what he said? Believe. 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 Shut up, Paisley. You have to do this. Hurry up.
In education, it's like $100 a day for substituting. Usually the range is between $16 and $20.
Okay.
Those are positions I apply for.
And making that kind of money, would you be able to meet your monthly expenses?
No,
And would you be able to pay that credit card debt?
well, they with the debt management, they will help with based on what I have as income.
Okay. What, would you be able to pay the debt to my office?
Not right away. It'd be small amounts at a time.
Would you be able to replace your vehicle?
Not well with that. I have to have some additional income, and I'm gonna have, I just know that's the fact. I can't live like we were living, and I knew based on what he said, things are not gonna be the same. So,
If you can't find a job that provides health insurance, are you able to pay for health insurance for yourself?
I'm looking into what is it, the .gov. I've asked for a lady that worked in the health department to see how I could sign up for that. And I guess that's based on income too.
Do you have any worries about being able to buy appropriate clothing for a job?
I just always made it work. So I use what I have and put it together, and I just use what I work. Even if it's secondhand store. I know Ola complained about me shopping at a thrift store, Goodwill, but it works for me. Whatever I have to do.
So you don't have any objection to shopping at a thrift store?
No,
getting
I don't.
clothing secondhand?
No.
Okay.
That's-
Your husband's contesting that about your credit card debt being marital. Is there anything that you've put on your credit cards?
Yeah, I put the kids' band trips on there. I put those on there. Their trips. Ola he goes on these trips, but he never offered. I think last year was the first time that he even contributed to having them have spending money or for their meals. Like when they go down, they had to have a meal, pay out of pocket. Ola, he did that for Akeem, and that was November of last year. So it's been a year ago since Akeem went.
So I'm turning to Exhibit 6. Do you recognize this document?
Yes,
And what is that?
it's the bank statement
Is it for Blue Ox Credit
for
Union?
Blue Ox Credit Union.
Okay, and does it end on January 28th of 24?
Yes, that's the due date.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that would have been for
So statement date is
statement.
12/31/23.
And did you give me a year's worth of Blue Ox statements?
Yes,
Actually,
was
no.
it Blue Ox?
That
It wasn't
ends
Blue
in
Ox.
take
It's
back.
that one there was for the lock on the car, on the house.
Okay, but it's the entire statement, correct?
Yes, it's the entire statement.
Okay, and these statements go through the end date of May 28th, 2024,
Yes,
and you filed for divorce on May 31st of 2024.
yes,
So these were all incurred prior to filing.
yes,
And would you agree that your balance as of the end of May of this year was $4,968.15? And again, were all of the charges incurred as necessary expenses?
yes,
I move admission of Exhibit 6, which are the Blue Ox Credit Union state credit card statements.
Okay. Mr. Olepe, what's your response?
I only saw a page of those credit card payments. There are recurrent charges that I did not see that. So I cannot accept those credit card
Well,
charges.
You would have received it because Ms. McNiff had to send that out to you.
They
You
did,
would-
but it was just one page. It wasn't like all itemized.
What?
I would-
Itemized.
Mr. Lapide has the same thing that the court has.
I'm challenging those that they are household related.
Okay, well, you have the statement, and you've got the statements. Yours was the January 28th, 24 through December 31st, 23. Is that correct, Ms. McNiff? That's the one you're
Yeah,
seeking?
the one, I'm looking at Exhibit 6, which is January 28th, 2024 through May 28th, 2024.
Okay,
My,
so,
my contention here is they don't add up to the total charge. There are recurring charges there that no proof.
okay, so you've got, just to clarify, because you said that the January 28th was from the December 31st, 2023. So do you have each month from the January through May then?
Correct, correct. So
Oh.
the statement date was 12/31/23. The payment due date was January 28th, 2020.
I'm just saying you jumped to the different dates, but I didn't know you were doing each of those 5 months effectively.
I get it.
Okay. Well, obviously the documents are, again, the documents that she seeks to have introduced. The court will admit those. If you have issues, sir, you can address it on cross-examination, or you can bring up whatever other documents you have that might, again, challenge those particular numbers.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Now I'm going to move on to Exhibit 7. Do you recognize Exhibit 7?
Yeah, that's a slate.
Okay, and the first one has a payment date of January 1st, 2024.
Yes,
Okay. And at that point in time, your balance on that card was $22,248.42.
yes,
And we then have the next month with the payment date of February 24, 24.
yes,
Is that
correct.
And then the next one is March 24 of 24.
Correct,
And then the next one is 4/24/24.
correct.
And I notice there are no purchases indicated.
Interest was accruing and then at the beginning of this year at Mackey, again, I was on call. I had to call in every day. So when I did have work, I would be going to report, be there at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. So my hours weren't regular, inconsistent. And then we found out that they lost their contracts. So but interest was accruing. And then if there was any late fees, the interest was jumping up. It was a variable interest rate. So
you weren't using this card to buy anything. You were just
No,
trying to pay the
just trying to
interest.
pay the payments and the interest. That's why there's nothing far as itemized.
So were
Yeah.
all of the charges on the Slate card incurred prior to filing the complaint for divorce,
Yes.
other than the interest?
Yes, other than the interest, yes.
Okay. I'd move for the admission of Exhibit 7, which is the
So,
4 months of
APA,
credit card
what's your response to these?
The same with the previous one, Your Honor. I thought the prosecuting attorney said everybody should keep their debts and keep their money. Why are we going all through this? I have to work. I teach students. I have to hold my pay. I don't know why we are going through this. She submitted a few months ago that everybody should keep their debts, should keep their
Okay,
income.
sir, that was done for purposes of mediation and settlement. You obviously didn't settle, so we're having to go through it now. Because it's contested, because we don't have a settlement.
I thought what she submitted was after mediation.
Excuse me?
What she submitted was after the mediation. In mediation, I contested it. Then they said everybody should keep their debt, as you could keep their income.
Okay, that's fine. But I'm saying you didn't settle at mediation. If you
Right.
don't settle at mediation, then the case is contested and anybody can bring in anything they want to, again, address the particular property or debt issues, et cetera. You didn't settle. When you don't settle, then you have to try it. And that's what we're doing.
Your Honor, do I get to know the duration of the trial? Because I have to teach. This is finance week.
Okay, well, today we're going up until approximately 4:30. I don't know that we're gonna finish today.
Well, can I request that I have to go give an exam at 1 p.m.?
How
You
long?
can join and come back after the exam, but I've canceled my morning class.
Okay.
I
Well,
work.
it's a
Nobody has
bit
time for my
it's a
study.
bit unusual, but obviously you're not represented.
Yes.
And
I
so,
can go on to one, postpone and come back after the exams.
well, obviously we want Ms. McNiff, obviously he's requesting an adjournment at this point.
Your
Every,
This day was set for trial. It was his responsibility to clear work. My client is paying me for this time. I've given up other things I could be doing in order to set this time aside. Uh,
I
The-
cleared my morning session. I have to give an exam at 1. I don't work for myself.
I understand that, but still, why when you were noticed that this matter was set for trial, why didn't you contact us and try to adjourn it or reschedule it or something of that nature?
As you know, I'm not a legal person. I thought 8:30, by 10:30, I will be done. When we were not, that's when I took the break to go tell my students that I would not be able to make the morning class. I can't cancel the exam.
And somebody else can.
Well, you don't have anyone else that can cover it for you.
Not at this short notice. Everybody's giving exam. See, Your Honor, this is it. I've already set the exam. I have to go in and administer. I've canceled the one in the morning. I can meet again tomorrow at 8:30.
Well, we can't do it. We have other matters set. We have matters set. We have trials set out through the end of January. So,
Okay, what about 3 p.m.? I can go give the exam and come back at 3 p.m.
well, that's not going to help us because then we have a limited period of time. We have like an hour and a half after that. It's unusual, but again, to accommodate the defendant, the court will grant the request for an adjournment. What we'll be in touch with Ms. McNiff to reschedule this particular matter. Mr. Olepide, when this comes up the next time, we will start at 8:30. Whatever date it's on, we'll go until 4:30. So
Right.
you're going to have to make sure that those times are open. We will try to get in touch with you and see what your schedule is. I don't know if we have your particular phone number, but what you can do is call my office sometime today and give us your phone number where we can reach you to set up a date. I don't want to, because this is on Zoom and it's being streamed, I don't want you to give your phone number out.
Chris asked my phone number. They have called me before.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware if she had.
Yes.
We will call you and get arrange with you and Miss McNiff and see when we can get an alternate date. I'm probably going to set it up. Well, I anticipate we could do it in another full day. So we will set up for another full day.
I'm getting towards the end, and then I only have one other witness. who should
Okay.
be quick.
Well, and I don't know what defendant's cross-examination is going to be or his.
Mine is not extensive. I just said that I'm good to 1 p.m. If you can continue and finish today, I'm good.
How long do you think you'd take, Ms. McNiff, to finish your direct examination?
Of just my client.
Yes.
I can get it done in an hour for sure, but I still have one other witness that we could come back and do another day.
Well, obviously he has to go. So what we'll do is we'll adjourn at this time and then we'll schedule a time when you're coming back and then we'll complete it on the date that we reschedule.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You're free to go. Have a
Oh. Bold move to pull at the last minute, to be honest. Could backfire. The judge, that could have backfired for many reasons. This is deferred into the new year, as far as I'm aware. Judge wasn't bending over backwards, setting his schedule very fast. Unlike me, who has to bend over backwards to get my ass to deal with the masses. Anyways, I love you guys so much. I'm so thankful to see you. Tomorrow will be a very busy day. It's Christmas Eve, so there won't be a stream, but I think we might do a Christmas Day stream. Oh, get your ass to gambling, Miss Carrie. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful Christmas Eve and Christmas, and I want you to remember that I love you and I am proud of you, and I will see you in the next video. Okay, bye.
Ways down and ready to ride.